Test, test. Is this thing on? Okay. And now, for those in attendance and those listening around the world, it is time for the O on God podcast with your host, Tovaun Anthony.
What's going on, everybody? It is Tovaun Anthony, and welcome to another episode of the O on God podcast. I am having a wonderful week, having a wonderful day, and I'm going to tell you I'm excited for this one. Right next to me, oh my goodness, I get to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, and however you identify, we have the wonderful, the astounding, and goddamn, he's handsome. We have Krylios. How you doing?
I am doing well. That was a fabulous introduction, by the way.
I had to do it.
That's what I needed to get me ready for this. Calling me handsome, it's already the best podcast.
Alrighty. Oh my gosh. I'm just glad. Dude, I'm glad you're here. When I first thought about making a new podcast, you were one of the first names that popped in my head. No, dead serious. You were one of the first names that popped in my head because I made a list of people, and I'm like, I don't even know if half of them are going to give a damn. So, the fact that you were interested, I am so happy. And then I'm just going to jump straight into it. You are on a roll.
I am. It's been a busy couple of the last months, which has been really, really great to be a part of. By the way, thank you so much for thinking of me for this podcast. I do a lot of interviewing myself, so it's always great to be on the other side, being interviewed. But yes, it's been a busy month, a lot going on at Team Racing Productions, a lot going on with my own personal art and creating and all of that. So I'm just super happy to be here with you to get to talk about all of it and to get into what we're going to get into and have a good time.
Heck yeah. Let's talk about your art. You told me that you were coming. This was a while ago, of course, because you're on a roll with it now. You told me you were writing or finished writing a play and that it was going to be debuting. And I already told you that just right there caught me.
Yeah.
I'm like, and we were talking a little while ago about how I'm like, theater is kind of what got me into everything. So tell them a little bit about, a little bit about your play, of course, no spoilers if you don't want to do that. Keep it to the imagination, but at the same time, what brought you into the idea of writing it, the process of writing it, how did it feel going through it, and once you were finally ready to show it to the world, how did you know you were ready?
Well, I've been thinking about doing this for quite a while. So I've been working on a book since the past maybe 2 to 3 years. And one of the stories I actually adapted into the play. Yeah, so I've always done things on stage growing up and everything. But when I went to Howard, I kind of stopped doing that for a while. I was very focused on my broadcast journalism major, very focused on getting, a cute corporate job after Howard, all of that.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, close to the end of the year, so much had changed in my life between 2019 and 2020. And I realized that the passion that I had of creating things and, being on stage and using my personality and using my creativity to bring something to other people and to fulfill myself, I realized that I had to lean into that. The pandemic really showed me that I had to lean into that. So I got back on the stage at the end of that year with the chocolate-covered Rocky Horror Show production here in Baltimore that Earl Melvin, directed. He's the producer, creator, all of that. And being on stage, I'll never forget, because I wore heels to be a Transylvanian. So I was wearing heels on stage. I was in this skimpy thing, fishnets, all of that. And I just felt so powerful. And I performed the hell out of the role. And it reminded me how much I loved, being in entertainment, being in show business. And I said, I've got to do more of that. And through that, I was able to meet some people, make some connections in the Baltimore area. And I met Robert Garcia from Garcia's Black Box. And he's been putting on plays now for a very long time. And, he said to me, if you have an interest in doing that, I can help you. And, you can put it on at my theater and make that happen. So he says that to me. I'm in the middle of writing this book. And I look at all the stories and I'm like, I feel like I would like to visualize one of these. I'd like to see it, So I sat down and I just adapted this story that meant so much to me because it's called Leave the Door Open. The name of the play is Krylios' Leave the Door Open. I threw my name in there. So
look, hey, what? Hey, there you go.
So anytime you look for it, and I tell people, baby, I came up with Leave the Door Open. Fuck Bruno Mars.
Represent. Represent.
But to be honest, the name of the song did inspire the play. And, Leave the Door Open deals with the ending of a relationship. It deals with there's some tough moments in a relationship, and it's between Leon, he's the protagonist, and Charles, who is... would I call him the antagonist? Let's just say he's the second lead, he's the second lead of the play. And we kind of see how their marriage, it's going in a different way than I think either of them want. And it touches on so many things, from race, because they're an interracial couple, to family, and home, because Leon is Jamaican, like I am. It's not based on me or my life.
I'm joking.
It's not based on me or my life, but Leon is Jamaican. His best friend is Jamaican. And those things, play a lot on what these relationships look like. It's also a May, December, older, younger relationship. And so all those things come together to create a lot of drama, but also really getting to the heart of the matter of what it means to be in love, what it means for someone to have a certain type of control in a relationship, and how that control can get out of control, where both individuals aren't happy and it might affect those around them. Now, in the middle of the play, a huge thing happens that kind of changes the course of everyone's life and outlook on the relationship. As I say, it's a twisted tale. It's a twisted tale of fear, fantasy, and freedom. So, yes, a twisted tale. And you never really know what's happening with some of these characters right up until the end. We keep the twist just going and going. And
you can put them on a roller coaster.
Yes. But we premiered in Baltimore on in the middle of May 14th and 15th. And I didn't know what to expect going into doing this the first time, and if people would come out and what it would look like. But we had 2-pack shows back to back. I was, very happy, very grateful. My family came up too from Atlanta. And I'll never forget the first time I heard my words that I wrote coming out of one of the actors' mouths. It's like, wow, like I created this and I'm seeing it being brought to life. So it was a dream of mine, and a dream that's continuing, because we have more shows set up for the fall, in DC and other places. We'll make those announcements. But I'm very, very happy with the first run of the show in Baltimore so far.
Oh my goodness, yo! Look, I am very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is amazing. Like, seeing it go, like, not even seeing, like, hearing about how it started and how it's getting to this point, and the fact that the ball's rolling and you hit the ground running, and I'm just this is so cool. This is cool.
It is. It really is so cool. And you know what? I have to give so much thanks, because I'm so grateful to the actors that really dedicated themselves to this, because, you know, it was tough. We started rehearsals back in the fall of 2021 and around November or so. But then baby Omicron came through and I was like, we are going to have to, you know, pause this. I didn't want to have everyone coming to rehearsals because the cast members were both from Baltimore and DC. And so having everybody coming together in a confined space and doing all of this during that time, you know, I didn't think it was a good idea. So we put a pause on it and came back to it in March. And, you know, we lost some actors, so we had to get some new ones. But I will say, I'm very happy for the new ones that we got because they ate it up. I was very impressed by them. You know, they really brought out the work and my vision. And I'm just very, very grateful that they were able to help me realize my dreams. You know, it was my first ever production. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's the thing about when you put things together like that, you develop this community, you develop this family, and you know, when you're watching the people bring what you do to life, like I can only touch on that from a musician standpoint. Like whenever I make most of my music, I make it myself. And then live, I'll have other people like play if I just feel like singing, or sometimes I won't play guitar, I'll have someone else. But when I see them do what I like created initially, I'm like, it's like I'm watching a whole nother thing.
Yes.
And you become even more of a fan of theirs, as well as like it's getting at you, right? It's getting at you. Like I've been emotional over that. I've definitely been emotional over that.
Certainly. And, you know, I received flowers at the end, something I'd never done before. I'd never imagined that would be a thing. And for me, low-key, it's the best moment of that weekend to be on stage and receive that. So it was really fabulous. And it was around my birthday time as well. It was a busy May, a very, very busy May, because I did so many other things aside from the play. And sometimes when it comes to my birthday, it can be a little bit bittersweet, but because I had so much going on, I was able to lean more into the sweet than the bitter.
Yeah.
Wait
a minute, we're both May babies, or where are you from?
I am May 25th.
9th. So
You are a Taurus.
Yeah.
And I am a Gemini.
Because my brother's is the 24th.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
so, yeah.
I love that. That is so cool. I'm always a fan of other May people. I think May people are the best in the world.
Sounds cocky coming from me, but I ain't met too many bad May people. Okay, and if they are bad, they really good at something.
Yes,
I'll tell you that. So yeah, no, like yes, this is amazing. Like the fact that you are doing your thing. And I want to take a step back real quick. Like early on, like how we connected was because of Team Racine. You know, you ended up interviewing me, which was, to me, I was like, why anybody want to interview me? I was confused as hell. But like, I mean, at the time I had started doing like my whole MMA rap thing and started just get a little bit more out there online. And when we went through, when you interview me, I just remember it being very smooth and just very cool. And like, cause I've been on some like podcasts and shows where like the other person, they're kind of like, and I got none of that from you. I'm like, this cat is cool as a cucumber. And this and that's what I wanted to like emulate if I was ever going to like interview other people or like, even if I'm not the person asking the questions all the time, right? And it just felt really good. It felt really natural. Like, how long have you been doing that in general?
Well, thank you for that. That's such a compliment because honestly, I had to work out the kinks to kind of get that together. No, I will say, I'm used to holding a mic. I'm used to like being on stage and announcing and hosting stuff and stuff like that. But with Team Racine Productions, when the pandemic hit in 2020, you know, we did live shows. That's what we did. And then all of a sudden we weren't able to do that again again. And so our producer, Czar, along with the legendary Racine Pendarvis from the House of Pendarvis, as well as our booking agent, Nikki, we kind of came together, put our heads together and said, how are we going to change things up, do something new, and still be able to engage with people during the pandemic and post the pandemic? And we came up with the Team Racing YouTube channel. And since March 2020, we have been interviewing so many interesting people, interesting guests. Czar has this, penchant for, scoping online and finding the interesting people, whether they are artists, musicians, actors, politicians, from all over the spectrum. We wanted to talk to people, get into what people are giving, help to promote them, give them some visibility and some amplification, but also really just get into the minds of so many different people. And of course, with the entire core four of Team Racing Productions being queer, we definitely specifically also want to highlight different queer people doing so many different things in the community all over. So we started locally, and we've been interviewing people all across the country and across the oceans.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I understand. What was really funny is once I reposted the interview, there were some people that came at me because they had completely forgotten that I was queer. They had completely forgotten. I was just like, oh, yeah, what's good?
There you go.
Welcome to Tovaun land. Also, check out the rest of the show.
Passing privilege.
I think,
they call that.
So really, thank you for helping me remind people.
Yes.
That was something else.
And that's very, very important too, because within our community, we just have, so many different types of people and many different ways to be queer. And, many people might not come off as queer from the outset, i.e. you. So people might not really remember or not really see that as an initial part of you. So one of the great things about doing this with Team Racing Productions is that, we're talking to this politician, we're talking to this musician, we're talking to this person, that person. And within those conversations, we're able to talk about things like them being queer and what that means, for the art or the work or whatever it's doing, how they channel that into that, how that inspires them, how being queer as a child or a young person kind of put them into the path where they are on now. So, I feel like that's one of the really important things that I get out of being able to speak to so many interesting people on Team Racing.
Yeah, you get to get so many different perspectives and opinions, and it's when you see how it affects what they do in their day-to-day or their art in general, it's just different. For specifically, and I'm not going to ramble too much about myself, but for me growing up, the idea when people find out that I'm queer, I'm more pansexual, whatever they don't want to call it, but they ask me okay, well, how was my childhood? How was XYZ? I'm like, really? I'll tell you the truth. Y'all ain't asked. That's really all it was. All of my best friends knew what was up.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't even a question. Even with my parents, they're just huh? They found out I'm in my mid-20s. They're like, huh?
Wow.
I'm like, oh, yeah. When?
Really?
Oh, here we go. No, that's literally what it was.
Well, for me, I grew up in Jamaica, and I will say, for me, I feel like I read more queer growing up and probably lost a little bit of reading as queer as I got older. But no, I'm actually leaning into that more because I feel like it's an integral part of me. And being queer is it's great. I would never want to be not queer. It's an interesting day all the time. And no matter, the stuff I went through growing up in a place like Jamaica where the culture is inherently homophobic, There was a lot there that kind of helped to build me into who I am now, and that inspires my art. You know, my book, Fierce Fantasies and Freedom, it's 10 different stories, and, you know, they deal with a lot of things. There's a lot of fantasy in there, a lot of fear, and finding your freedom. That's why I named it that. But there's a lot of queer stories inside of it. I wouldn't even call it a queer book.
Yeah.
But because of who wrote it, many of the stories are queered in their own way. There are even stories that don't have queer people, but the situations that they're in almost have a little homoerotic subtext to it, you know, in a way. And I thought that that was important to bring that out in my stories and to, you know, find a way to not necessarily cope, but, you know, turning one's pain into their passion. And the book has certainly helped me out with a lot of that, really getting to sit down and craft these stories and kind of work out my own things through the page and through the writing. And I'm in the finishing stages right now before I have it go live on Amazon. So this is what I didn't know, that when you write a book, and you're like, okay, it's gonna be paperback, it's gonna be a hardcover, it's gonna be a Kindle version. I'm like, when I'm done writing the book, I just finish and do everything. No, baby, I have to format each of them differently. It's like doing 3 books.
Yes. Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I didn't know that this is what the tea was going to be.
Completely different. I have like this one main client. I've done children's books for him. I've done book covers for him. It's weird. He writes children's stories, but he also does horror. So just think about being at a book fair and you have both of those. And people
Yes.
what am I looking at here?
Yes.
But when I saw him going through like the publishing process the first time, and this dude was getting pulled every which I didn't know this was supposed to be like this or like this or like this. It's like music. It's like, wait, what?
Yes.
I gotta get a what?
Yes.
In order to get paid here, and I gotta do what in order to get royalties here? And
that is exactly what I'm going through, because May was so busy. I was thinking I'm gonna do the play, and right after the play, the book will just be out the next week. Baby,
it's never just as simple.
No. And even after the play, I was still in a production. I was in my 3rd Rocky Horror production. Again, that we just did Pittsburgh and Baltimore last weekend. So I was doing rehearsals for that while doing rehearsals for Leave the Door Open. And as Leave the Door Open was done, I was like, okay, now the new focus is just getting the book out and doing Rocky Horror. But baby, Rocky Horror was a lot. And then when I was like, I'm done with the book, everything is finished, it's great. And then I went into the publishing thing now to just get it done. I was like, oh no, baby, you still have a lot of work to do that you didn't even realize was a thing. But you know, it's good for June. The book is queer enough where it can be a pride thing. So we're leaning into that.
okay, you know, that's good. Listen, no, it's nonstop out here. It is nonstop, especially when you do as many things as you do. If you're creative in more than one medium, it is nonstop.
It is
100%
nonstop.
Like
It is nonstop.
like when I performed at MagFest earlier this year in January, like I had put so much into. I forgot that I sectioned myself off for like a month to focus specifically on that, and literally the day after I performed, I'm feeling like, oh, it's all good. I can relax, and that's, you know, clients hitting me up like about like art I needed to give them, like this show I was helping like put together, like. It was just so much happening right after. I'm like, oh, I thought I was finished. I'm not finished.
Yep.
I gotta keep going. This is gonna hurt.
yes, definitely.
Oh my
that.
gosh, man.
But I will say I've been using the last couple of weeks to do like promo for the book while I'm getting it ready. I was just at an open mic at Busboys and Poets where, you know, I previewed a little bit of the book, and at the play too, I previewed. I did 2 of the shorter stories from the book at the play. And I hosted an event at the Kennedy Center called Outspoken with Story District, and there I previewed a little thing too, and then at the open mic I gave them a little new piece as well. And I'm going to be doing another open mic next week. So, really ramping up that promo before the book comes out.
Look, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And I know you're going to, man, strike. That's all I got to say. Strike.
Yep. Strike while it's hot.
Yes, indeed.
Strike while it's hot.
All of that. I forgot if I asked this already. How did you get associated involved with Team Racine? Because I had technically met Racine years ago. Now the first time it was at a DC Pride event.
Yeah,
and Racine was hosting, and I'm just going to be honest. I had no idea it was a Pride event.
Yeah,
because it was a friend of mine. I played in his band when we were in college. Well, I was in college. He just happened to be in Florida at the time.
Yeah,
and he was in town. He said, "Hey, look, I'm covering this artist. I'm going to be his videographer and photographer." I'm like, okay, cool. Had no idea the person was queer. Like at all. Like I said, sometimes you just don't know. Right? You just don't know. So I'm like, all right, cool. We went and got some food. We were eating. And they're like, okay, we're going to go to the show. I'm like, all right, cool. I get there. Everyone's having a good time. I'm at the photo booth taking pictures. Just, yeah. How y'all doing? And I see this person who's hosting the show. And I'm like, they're using the word queen a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Then I look left and right. I'm like, oh, I get it. All right.
There you go.
I was like, all right, I'm in the zone. All right. That's a bet.
I love that. Because, I actually first met Racine at a DC Black Pride event as well. I was in sophomore year at Howard, and I went to my first Black Pride ever. That was 2015 or 16. And it was actually a speed dating event, and Racine was hosting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm there speed dating and whatever. I wasn't really getting anything back that I was leaning into. I was like, okay. But Racine stood out to me. And, she said Racine Pendarvis. And I'm like, wait, from the legendary house of Pendarvis? Because by that point, I was in America now. I was like, I'm going to be out. I wanted to know my queer history, all of that. And I'd watched Paris is Burning maybe a year before for the first time. And had seen it many times since then. So I was, aware of the names of the legendary houses. So when she said Racine Pendarvis, I was like, all right, this is like an actual legend in the building. And at the end of the event, I introduced myself to Racine and Czar. Back then, Czar still came out into the world. He doesn't come out anymore. But I introduced myself to them, and then I started following them on social media, just to keep up with what was happening. And closer to the end of the year, I saw on Twitter that the official Team Racine Twitter was asking for volunteers, and if anyone wanted to volunteer with them. And at that time, I really wanted to do something in the community. Like, I was living in DC, but I was just at Howard doing Howard things, focusing on that. But I really wanted to feel like a part of the community and wanted to do something that felt like I was in the DC community. I was giving back in a way, and I was able to create more connections outside of Howard. And so I said, I'll volunteer with them. And so I started volunteering with them in 2016. And that volunteering went into me becoming the announcer for the Ask Racine show. And through that, it led to now me being, the MC and producer of Team Racine Production. So now I've been with them for a minute, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 5 years. Okay. At this point, my God, time has flied.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
By the time I found Racine again, like I said, the first show I just saw Racine, and I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. But when I personally met Racine, it was because I was dating a person at the time who's a burlesque dancer. I don't know if she's still a burlesque dancer, but
so you haven't kept in contact a lot?
That's a story for another time. They probably gonna listen to this show. I know you on my social media. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. But they gonna be like, oh,
I love it. I love it.
But no, they it was really funny because I think a while ago, Racine had like a variety show.
Yeah.
Over at what was that place called? It was on U Street. I keep forgetting the name of the place because I saw Snarky Pit.
Is it Live?
No, it wasn't
No.
Live. Wait, was it? No. What's the place that has a piano like outside, like on the roof of it? It's weird.
It could be Live.
I think it's Live.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
believe
Live.
so,
It's been so
yeah.
long, man. But
Yeah, they were at Live nightclub back in those days.
Yeah,
Is that
like-
giving you like a 2013, 14?
Yes.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because the person I was dating, they just started performing, and they went, they did their thing, and I was like, I know this person.
Yeah.
and I've seen this person, and I'm thinking, I'm like, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I contacted my boy. And he was like, yeah, I remember that name. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's who they are. And there was an event in D.C., I think it was called Artomatic.
Yes, Artomatic.
And I remember Racine had a segment there. And what was funny was the person I was dating was performing for Racine. But I was performing in a band before the Racine show was happening, like right before. So I was like setting up my guitar and stuff. Czar walked in, he has boxes,
Yes.
and I see Racine. I'm
Very
like, hey,
Czar.
how's it going? Like, I'm actually going to introduce myself this time, and just the energy.
Was that
Different.
Artomatic 2017 or was that before that?
I think it was before.
Oh, it was before. Okay.
I think it was before because I believe I was. I think I was doing Muay Thai that year. So if that's the case, yeah, it had to be like right before.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I just remember I was like, "Yep, there they are."
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing my music thing here, so I went over, introduced myself, and I was just like, okay, no, this energy is amazing.
It
I
is.
understand
it
why
is.
people
It's
are
been
gravitating
such
towards you.
A pleasure to be able to work with Team Racine Productions so long. When I first started, I didn't even know that it would turn into what it's giving now. Because now I'm in a space where I'm able to do, so many things that I've always wanted to do. There was a time in my life I thought I'd be on CNN, reading the news, telling the girls telling the girls about what's going on over in the Middle East and talking about who's gonna win this election and all of that. But I will say, while I was at Howard, I realized that I was enjoying my English minor more than my journalism major.
Wow.
Because I could be very, very creative doing
expressive.
my English minor. Like, I could do anything. All my professors, it's just like, this is the prompt, and you are able to just create and do anything that you want. When it comes to the journalism, it was less that. It was giving very regimented, like, this is what you're going to do, and it has to be in AP style, so you have to stick to this, and all of that. And I'm like,
First of all, don't mention the word AP. I was so done with that stuff. Oh.
I don't like the rules and being all confined and all of that. So after Howard, I was at AARP for a while and just doing the desk work and doing all of that. The money was cute.
Yep, there you go.
But the drive and the passion, that is what I was missing. And all the time I always wondered, I was like, I'm going to work. It's cool. It's great. I like it here. I like the people. But I don't know what it is about it that was not giving me that spark that I feel like, I needed to have. And being able to go back to writing and being able to, do this on Team Racing Productions, like, baby, I'm still a journalist. I'm interviewing motherfuckers every day.
Look, everything you do in life has a meaning.
Yes.
And it can be used at some point in life, point blank, period. So, no, I get it. I definitely get it because that's how it is. Like with me in shows, like whenever I'm on a bill, I go into promo mode. The things that I went to school for, like whether it's motion graphics, graphic design, making flyers, making different like promos that like catch the eye, stuff like that. This is stuff that I do naturally because of Full Sail that drilled it into my head and left me traumatized for like a year. But yeah, no, listen, hey, it is what it is.
It is.
Everything comes around full circle.
Yes, it does.
Just
yes,
use it for a different reason.
Yes. So I'm very excited because I'm really feeling that energy. You know, here's the thing when it comes to creating, especially as creatives, there's sometimes, you know, we have some dead moments where it's like we don't really know, like we started something and we're kind of in a rut and we're not really sure where this thing is going, but then sometimes you just have that epiphany. And you know, so baby, I smoke weed, so sometimes, you know, it's a nice night, I hit the blunts and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. But then things just start coming, you know, and you get that wave of, you know, that epiphany. And then I'm just up all night creating, just writing, just making stuff. And that had a lot to do with the play, because with the play, I wrote that in a night. I wrote it in a night. I had one of those epiphanies and I could not go to bed. And
you couldn't stop creating, could you?
I could not.
See?
I could not. And, you know, that to me, whenever I get those moments, sometimes they take it out of me because it could be 3-4 days straight where, like, I can't go to bed and I'm creating and I'm actually sleeping at 10 a.m. in the morning. But then when I'm done and I get to look back on all that I've created, I wasn't like, that's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah.
Indeed. No, I definitely understand that. Like my first EP under the name Aoxus, I wrote that all in one night as well. Like I was just up, just like, now granted, here's the difference. I was a little drunk. And I'm like, I'm going to keep writing. And then I couldn't go to sleep and I kept writing and I kept writing. Next thing I know, it was 6 a.m. and I'm like, I'm going to keep writing. And I kept going and I'm like, I'm going to record this. Because everything was just in my head and it wouldn't stop coming.
Yes.
It's a different level that you're at. It's just a human being when you're in that mode of creating.
Yeah.
It's something else. And when you got it, ride the wave, baby.
You've got to. Sometimes I just start writing down the things and having them all. I have this stack of papers in my room that has just all these notes and doodles and scribbles and stuff of future things and upcoming things and the sequel to the play and stuff like that. You know, I have so many of those, you know, type of things.
Your play gonna do so well. Watch, somebody gonna try to find that now you said it. I gotta know what's next.
Well, you know what?
They gonna find your ass. They gonna take your files. Oh my God.
Yes, that is true. But there's always just so much going on in my head and I've got to get it down so I don't lose it. And so many of the things that I do now, I've been thinking about since I was a child. You know, like there are stories that I'm creating now that I've been creating since I was 12, 13, 14, that it's just been in my head. I know what it is. I've seen it. And over the years, as I've grown older, the stories themselves have changed and matured as I've matured. And maybe the way how I looked at what this character was going to do when I was 15 or what this meant to me when I was 15 is much different now as I'm approaching 30. You know, that's crazy to say, but
look, it's gonna hit you, and when it does, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dang!" I had a guy earlier this year, one of my best friends in the world, and matter of fact, I'll say it. Jay Diggs, my best friend, one of my best friends in the world. He called me. I was at MagFest getting ready to perform, and no, I called him, and I'm like, "Hey, how you feeling, big dog? Happy birthday!" He said, "Bro, I'm 30.
Yes.
I was like, your back hurt yet?
There you go. I have a lot of friends around me who they either just turned 30, they're leaning into that early 30s thing now, or the rest of us who are just on the precipice. And I will say this, I remember turning 25 and the last half hour, I had this huge birthday party, right? It was an early 2000s themed party. I had everybody come dressed up in early 2000s fits. I was giving like a Chicago Bulls jersey and like baggy pants and a long gold chain and really leaning into the trade of it all, right? And I had early 2000s movies playing all around the room, Mean Girls and Friday, like different things. And then the music was just all early 2000s music. It was a great party. So many people were there. I loved it. But that last half hour at 11:30, I had drank enough where I said, let me go into the bathroom for a bit and just settle down. I went in there and threw up. Right? So
there you go.
And then after I did that, this almost impending doom I felt of turning 25. I was just like, wow, I'm turning 25 in, less than an hour and a few minutes. And I had this impending doom just like fully come down on me in that bathroom. And when I opened the door and walked out, everyone was like getting ready to sing me happy birthday because it was like 11:58.
You are going through it.
Baby, the anxiety through the roof. And everyone's singing, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, no.
And the impending doom, it was a precursor for things to come, because I will say 25 to this day, 25 was, it's my worst year. It was right before the pandemic too and everything. But a lot happened in that year that it informs who I am today now as an individual, but I would not choose to put myself through it again.
Hey, look.
No, definitely not.
Like, what would I do different? No, I don't want to be there at all.
No. It's definitely not. But going through that and then having better years afterwards, it's made me, not feel as scared as to what's coming up. Before turning 28 this year, I was feeling kind of all of that. But this year has been very different in a way where a lot of the things that I manifested and a lot of the things that I asked the universe for, they came to me, and I'm very grateful. It's given me a new outlook on life, actually. I believe in a different way, I call myself a non-believer, but so much has happened this year where, I believe, again, I believe in the magic, I believe in love, I believe in the fantasy, I believe in the universe, and I feel like there's, something greater than myself that I can lean into now and like feel that as a comforting thing, which it's great to be able to have that. So I'm very grateful for that.
Stuff like that comes with time.
Yeah.
When we're younger, we're exposed to what our parents believe in. And, they try to instill it in us from their perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no one's perfect. I get it. Like, I was a child that was, luckily for me, I was exposed to so many things when I was younger. I think my mother was Seventh-day Adventist. Her mother was Catholic.
I'm Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, see, I knew it. See, first of all, Adventism has so many Caribbeans in it. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. All right, hold on.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Great portion of my family.
I probably saw you in the children's choir somewhere.
You just might have.
I was a junior deacon at the DuPont Park Seventh-day Adventist Church in Southeast DC.
Listen, I grew up like as a child preacher. Like,
man.
I went to 2 child preaching seminars 2 years in a row at like 11, 12, and truly, a church Adventist kid.
I knew something was up. I was like, I feel something from this cat. I know I feel something from this guy. I know something when I see it. What is going on here?
That's what it is.
Oh!
Yup. Very that.
Oh, no. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, a shiver just went down like 10 friends of mine's spines right now who have all like defected from the church. They're just like, ooh, another.
Well, baby, I'm not going to say out loud if I defected or not.
I ain't going to. You can say what you want to say. Listen, they know what's good. First of all, look, shout out to the men that raised me, especially before the man that I look at as my dad came into the picture. These men were righteous men. It had nothing to do with the church. It had nothing to do with religion. They showed me the way when I was younger. It's point blank period. And they support me to this day.
Yeah.
The deacons at DuPont Park Seventh-day Adventist Church. I love y'all to death.
Love that.
But I'm going to say this.
Say it.
Y'all know I ain't there. And y'all know there's a reason I ain't there. Okay. Y'all see what I post on the internet.
Exactly. So I hate Facebook, right? It's been the bane of my existence for a very long time. Now, in high school, I went to boarding school, right? For 7 years, 12 to 19.
Hold on, which boarding school?
I went to Monroe College.
Okay.
It is the last all-boys boarding school left in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Back in the day, in the 20th century, there were way more. Back in the day.
Like it was 100 years ago. In the 20th
In the
century.
20th century, you know. No, you know, nowadays, you know, the young Gen Z people, they say things like, oh, in the late 1900s, and baby, they're talking about 1996.
Hey, big dog. I need you to understand, I was a kid. Y'all don't know. The late 1900s.
Late 1900s.
Don't age me.
Don't do it. Yeah, so I went to boarding school, and being there is so different because you create your own society, you create your own community. It's very different from what you're than what you're doing at home. And so you create this new family and this new microcosm on this mountaintop away from civilization. And so that's your home. For me, it was very Harry Potter. You know, we went home every 3 weeks and then like for the big holidays, right? And eventually I had created such a community there and stuff with the friends that I found. I preferred being at school than being at home. So just like Harry, every time when it was summer and he had to be home, he was not here for it. By the time it got to August, he was like, I'm ready to go back to Hogwarts. For me, it was very that I'm ready to go back to Monroe, right? But in those final years, you know, Gossip Girl was on TV. People were leaning into that. And someone came after me by like trying to out me on Facebook, and their name was Tyra Clark. They used the same boo to them, yes. And it became this whole Facebook thing, you know. And they knew my secrets, and they were revealing it drip by drip on the internet. And they started like becoming Facebook friends with all the people at our all boys school as well as our sister all girls school. And like that became like a thing of drama for a while. And I wasn't the only one targeted, but I was the main target because the individual who was behind it was a friend of mine.
See, that's the thing. It's always someone you know.
And I should have known, I should have known he's always been a jealous, dirty person because I knew him before boarding school, which is rare. I knew him when we went to primary school before, you know. Anyway, so he did that. That became a thing. And I left Facebook afterwards because it just kind of became too much. And I was still in Jamaica. And so being outed wasn't ideal. It was not. But I got through it in high school, which I'm thankful for because there were many times I saw other queer people having to leave school because, you know, people found out about them or they got caught doing this or that. And sometimes even being lied on and having to leave.
That happens.
Yeah.
That really happens.
Mm-hmm, certainly. But, you know, I made it through even with those things. Now, when I look back at it, I just say it builds character. But that became a thing for a while. So I left Facebook and I reactivated my account at some point during Howard. And at this point, I wasn't out to my parents yet or anything. And I went to Town Dance Boutique in DC, RIP Town, my first gay club ever. And I remember the night I was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. No, they had this thing where their Wi-Fi was set up where every time you connected to the Wi-Fi, it checked in on your Facebook profile to say where you were. And I had only just reactivated
that
my
location.
Baby. I had only just reactivated my Facebook 2 weeks before. And so the Wi-Fi was shoddy, so it kept going out. So I kept having to reconnect. So that was posting on my profile over and over and over and over again. And and I didn't know this. So the next morning I woke up and my dad called me like early in the morning. He was like, "Where were you last night?" And I was like, "I was out." I was out.
If a parent ever asked that,
And so I was like shook now because usually, back in the day, because growing up, they found gay shit all the time. So this conversation wasn't necessarily new, but I usually had a heads up before where I could create a story to get out of it, right? There was no heads up for this one. Nope. So I couldn't create. And I was just like, I was out. And he said, "Were you at a gay club?" I was. So I was like, why would you ask that? Throw back a question, while I'm trying to think up something. So we go back and forth a bit, and I don't give him an answer. I tell him, "I'm going to call you back, all right? Let me call you back because I'm just waking up. Let me just go brush my teeth, and we'll have this conversation." So I hang up, and I call my aunt because we were very close. I was already out to her. She's my dad's sister. And it was like, okay, so your brother just called, and I don't know how he knows what he knows, but he knows something. And so we start wondering, what this could be. And I'm like, girl, let me check the Facebook. I get on Facebook, and there I see 15 check-ins, Krylios at Town Dance Boutique, gay club. And baby, all the Seventh-day Adventists from my church back in Jamaica were commenting on the check-ins.
Because they quick with it.
Quick with it, I'm gonna tell you. Quick. Everybody was commenting. Everybody was giving reactions. And so I deleted that all, took down my Facebook. Then I called back my dad. And I was like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
So at this point, I said to him, he's seen it. It is what it is. I'm going to cut to some of it. So I was like, I needed some Wi-Fi. I was out, and I needed to connect to this thing, and that was the closest Wi-Fi. And, that's what happened. So that's where I was. Did he buy it? I'm not sure how much he did, but he said, I'll never forget, he said to me, "Well, you know how your mom feels about stuff like this." Because my mom had been finding the gay shit all my life. So,
moms don't find it. Mamas are so curious. It's just going to happen.
So he said, "You know how she feels about this." And I said to him, well, let's keep this between us. Don't mention it to her. So at that point, I thought I was out to my dad already. But honestly, it was not until 2 years later where I actually really, I thought I was out, but they were giving me, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
So when I finally really did, for me, I thought I was just doing something that to me, it was an open secret between us, but they pretended as if this was new information, as if all the things they haven't found and suspected and seen over the last 23, 24 years at that point did not exist. So...
Look, the thing about when it comes to parents in particular, but when it comes to people, some people need it to be so plain as day that they just have to have that moment. They have to have that moment.
Yeah.
So like even with my mother, like the night that essentially with me, what I did was I was just out one night. I remember it was after a MagFest. I don't think I performed at that MagFest. but it was after AMAG Fest, and I just posted up online that I was bisexual. I said, "Damn, fuck it," boop, posted it up. Because during that time, I had a lot of people that would, come out to me and confide in me specific things because they knew about me.
Yeah.
But they were wondering how I lived so freely, X, Y, Z. They came from different backgrounds. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I kind of just don't care. Like, no matter who says what, I'm going to be me because that's what my mother, even though she has a different viewpoint on things, that's what she taught me. That's what my brothers taught me. Be who you are, period. Without fear. Even if when it comes to us. Even when it comes to us, we might have different perspectives, but be you, because we can't stand the idea of you living unhappy. Period. So when that happened, it was just like, most of my family had no idea, so I'm getting calls from my favorite cousin.
Oh, God, that's always the best.
Things are going insane. And I heard, I'll just put the story out. Like, I heard some things that had me question what my mother, thought. Like, and it affected me in a way where I got really just emotional really fast, right? Like, me and my brothers are all the same when it comes to my mother. If she's at a 10, we're at a 10 or a 15. So just from what I was hearing, it was like, oh, well, your mother's upset about this. I'm like, that doesn't sound like my mother. But given who gave me the information, I'm like, okay. Guess it's about to go down. Turns out me and my mother have the same arguing style, and also we were trying to argue two different points of which we weren't trying to listen to each other. So the next day we had an actual conversation, and she was just like, "Look, son, I just don't know why you put it on the internet. I can give a crap." Like, I was like, "Oh, okay." And my brothers had to explain that to me. They were like, "You need to understand, she's a boomer. This internet stuff, she don't get this." Like, it was private information to her. She had no idea. She just felt like she was sideswiped. She's like, I thought I knew about you, and clearly I did not. Therefore, that was just a shock. But it was on the internet before I knew. That's how I felt. So I was like, oh, okay, so if I ain't got no problem with you, I can give a crap about anybody else in the family. I ain't got no problem. My dad, he was just like, I don't give a fuck. All right, love you, dog.
But with my coming out, I guess, so as I said, 25 was a hard year. So what had happened? So after we had this, fabulous early 2000s party and everything, I was dating someone at the time. And then when Memorial Day came, he died that day, literally the morning of Memorial Day, right? He had epilepsy and he had a seizure while he was in the bathroom showering. And so, like, I was outside. That's the whole thing. I don't even want to get into the story. But the point is, because that happened, I had to call my parents. I found the body. Like, it was a whole thing. So I had to call my parents to tell them that my boyfriend died. Like, this very traumatic thing just happened to me today. So for me, as I said before, I thought I was already out to them. But they were giving, this is new information. They weren't giving me condolences because I'm obviously going through something tough at the moment. It was just all about me being gay. And I'm like, this isn't even new information. Like, the support I need right now is that I'm going through this terrible, awful thing, and I need that support. But they made it all about me being gay. And coincidentally, at the same time, an article with me had just come out. Actually came out some months before, but it was at the same time that they saw it on the internet. It was an article in the Washington Blade, and in it I spoke openly about being gay and queer and all of that. And so while I'm going through this terrible time and this terrible moment with it, where I left DC, went to Atlanta to stay with family for a while just to really, decompress and kind of get myself together, my mom calls me to talk about this article. This article now becomes the thing of the family, baby.
Oh, you a superstar.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because they were like, you didn't have to make a whole article about, you didn't have to get in. And I'm like, I'm not going to pass up an interview. Do you know who I am?
I just did an interview. They made the article.
Like, no, like, that's not what's going to happen. And see, I'm a junior, so I share the same name with my dad. And so my dad was giving.
Oh, man. He was feeling it.
Oh, God. My dad was giving, we share the same name. And my mom leaned into that heavily. She was like, every time people Google your dad's business, and they want to find out, they're going to see this article because I'm sorry, I'm in America. It's the top hit. When you Googled my name, the article was the top hit every time. So, they made that a whole thing. But, I had family I never heard of in 10 years, emailing me. Oh. Emailing me somewhere like, I just watched, Dear White People, or I just watched this and whatever, and I saw the gay character in that, and, I know that this must be hard, what you're going through.
Are we really doing this right now?
And no shade to you, cousin. You are one of the better ones who sent that email. I just say that, I'm here for any support. I'm not, I'm here. But, it was a lot of that as well, a lot of, we still love you, even though we don't support. It's giving very love the sinner, not the sin, which I don't subscribe to and I don't lean into. And it doesn't make me feel better. It just makes me give you a little bit of a side eye.
No, I definitely get that. Because listen, like when it came to my father, my biological father, he was the one that took it the hardest. And I knew it was different because he and I had just developed a relationship where we were in constant contact. Like until I was about 18 years old, we never had constant contact.
Yeah.
And we were developing a good relationship. And then once that happened, he felt a certain type of way about it and he was not willing to talk and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, look, let me tell you something. Just like I had to tell a couple other people in the family. I'm like, let me tell you something. If you're going to look at this specifically from a religious standpoint, remember who you're talking to. Like I said, deacon at the church.
Yes.
I done read that book forward, backwards, side to
Baby.
side. I'm also a historian to a point. Like, I was like, give me an example and watch me break this down for you.
Yeah.
And, things, it came together over time. It came together over time. But it was like with some cats, they just gotta live and adjust.
Yes.
And
yes.
like, okay,
certainly.
Whatever. Like, because for me, like my entire life, like I said, if somebody would have asked, I would have like, okay, this is what it was. Because I lived without any type of fear, anything like that. Because even when I posted, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. I literally put my phone down. I'm driving. I'm looking for something. I'm hanging out with friends. And then I look at my phone. I have so many notifications, so many comments, new people in my inbox that have been waiting for me since high school. You know who you are. But it was so many, like, I don't know your struggle. I'm like, what struggle? Specifically for me. Specifically for me. Because I'm just like, I kind of just live. Yeah. Now, am I fortunate? Very fortunate for, that part of my life because a lot of people shouldn't have to go through like that type of stuff in your childhood. Yeah. You really shouldn't because that brings trauma. That brings trauma. Like if you want to have those types of conversations, wait till the person's an adult. Like if you want to have those conversations at all. Like, but no, like as far as, people hammering down on children because of, how they are, specifically how they are. It's not going to change. It's not going to change.
Certainly not. And I will say this. Around 14, 15, I've always been very, very close to my parents, but particularly very close to my mother. And when adolescence hit and, I was a teenager, that's when we started kind of, having more distance, I guess, in our relationship, where our relationship was more surface level mother-son. I wasn't sharing as much with what was going on in my life with her. And trust me, so much was going on too at boarding school. But A lot of it had to do with the fact that I was gay. And so many of those things I wasn't able to share with her. And so I feel like we had some distance in our relationship right up till Howard, right up till that real coming out moment. But I will say, because of that, we were able to rebuild something new, rebuild a new relationship as adult mother and son. Because I think one of the issues my parents have had is, because I went to boarding school and so I was away a lot, they had a version of me in their heads as to who I was.
There you go.
This is who I am. And they weren't really seeing me and acknowledging me as who I had grown into and who I had become. And I guess after me coming out and the death and all of that happening, it was like, to do a biblical reference, the scale dropping from their eyes and them really seeing the real me. And that was an adjustment for both of them. And earlier I always thought that it was easier with my dad, but after that it became harder with my dad and easier with my mom. I know I'm the closest I've ever been with my mom, and with my dad, we're cordial.
And listen, I get it. That's real. That is real.
Love him though. Love him to
100%.
death.
Yeah. No child wants to be away or disown a parent. No child wants to do that initially from their soul. It's normally when that happens, they have to. It's not because they want to. But hey, me and my parents, and we good. The only thing I get from my mother is, you have the elders. They're still your friends on Facebook, and you're posting about penis. And I'm like, mother, relax.
And
I'm like, tell them stop looking at my page.
There you go.
Why they watching?
And there's always somebody watching. I remember my first Pride when I posted it on Instagram. My uncle called me and he was like, and this was even before I was out too. And he called me. He was like, I saw that you were at Pride, and I've just got to say, you were grown up in a very specific way and you were taught all these things, and I don't want you to let them go, even if you're friends with the homosexuals. The homosexuals, even if you're friends with them.
That makes me think like the colors.
Yes, it's very that.
Hold on, now, wait a minute. I got that same conversation because there was a time where I was at Pride and I had all the beads on me, everything. I'm dancing, I'm having a good time, and pictures were out. I didn't know that my church was there that year, like handing out flyers and stuff. I'm like, oh, y'all ain't the ones that should be out here. I love y'all though. I didn't know they were there, but it wasn't them that saw me. It's like the pictures ended up on the internet. And they're like, what the hell is Tovaun doing at Pride? I'm like, what you mean?
Yeah.
First of all, I would be here regardless.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, you're telling me I get to see people be proud of who they are? Isn't that what I preach all the time?
There you go.
I'm gonna be here. So it's it was just weird. Like I remember my aunt, rest her soul, she called me. She was like, I see it. She supported me no matter what. Point blank. I don't care what I did. Yeah, I could come to a house event in a chicken suit. She'd be like, look at him in that chicken suit. Yes. Like that's who she was. Rest in peace, Aunt Bam. But she was like, I see you out there having a good time, man. Shoot, I wish I was out there with you. Yes. I was like, all right, cool. Everybody else, so what's good?
I like that. I have to give a shout out to my auntie Booby because that's my aunt who's always supported me from the jump in everything I do. She was the first adult in the family that I came out to. And, that kind of support has really, kept me together and kept me buoyed as I was, in a new country, doing school and all of that. So when I was at Howard, Atlanta was like my home. Many of my friends who were Jamaican and stuff, like their Jamaican address was their home and whatever. But for me, it was really Atlanta because that was the space I could go and be myself. And my aunt was always supportive. And I was, able to do that. And of course, my aunt and my cousins were the family that I had in the audience, in the front row at
go.
leave the door open, So shout out to you, Auntie Booby. You've always been that girl. You always been that bitch. Come through, honey.
There you go. Look, we always have that family. Like, there's going to be somebody.
Yeah.
For some people, it's unfortunate it's not. But there are those people. For me, it was my Aunt Bam and then my favorite cousin, Risha, who's been on the old podcast. And she's going to be back on here.
Love it.
That girl is literally my biggest supporter ever, point blank, period. She's like, oh, T wearing makeup and doing metal. Okay, that's a bet. I'm coming. What you doing today? I'm coming.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to support she will. It's like she has the Tovaun flag and will fly it. Like, I love her so much. Like, when it comes to people like that in my life, that's what it's like. You say, it keeps you together. It keeps you going. It makes you realize, like, no, it's not just a sense of hope. It's a sense of, like, I am loved.
Yes.
I am truly loved. And that's what people need.
Yeah.
That is what people need no matter what.
Yeah.
Especially when they're going through any type of troubling time. They have to be reminded of love.
Yeah.
So
it's so important. And I'll say this, that's one of the things in my play. So much happens when it comes to love and relationships and all of that. But something I discovered at boarding school was, making your friends your family and being able to find that chosen family. Because the friends I made there, I still have to this day. And one of the things I wanted to bring out in the play was that even though this romantic relationship is in shambles, the actual love that really shines through the play is the love within the friendships there. Like the friendships, and I won't spoil it, but that really, really comes through to show that, this is another type of love that is important, that keeps people supported and that, really helps one along this journey of life. So, that's always important to have that type of love and that type of support. Even if, whomever is breaking your back ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, baby.
Hey, look, what? We know what it is. We know what it is. But yes, man. Yes, my God. Okay, so real quick, because I did say we were at least going to play a game. And
yes.
We're over an hour. I don't want to keep you too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know you're a busy person. And, listen. Right now, it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
It's Friday, baby.
We can take our time. We can get into the game. I'm into it.
We're going to try it. Right now, I have a game called Rounds. I saw this a while ago. I think a friend of mine showed it to me, but I never actually played it myself.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a shooter, I guess, with these little cute characters.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it up real quick, and hopefully everything runs the right way.
I love a cute character. Yeah, I really wanted to play a game I've never played before, just so if I'm losing or if I'm terrible. I love an adventure. I love doing something new. But also if I'm losing, it's just giving, I've never done this before. So don't judge.
Yeah. I'm going to see because, like I said, controller locking. I don't know what any of that means. We going to figure this out. Versus, let's see. Oh, I get it. So let me see. Press a button on there to see if. Okay.
That's back. No, that's correct.
Okay, so that's you. And I think, okay, this will be me. All right. This is going to work. We're going to figure this out together and then we can get competitive.
All right.
But, oh my gosh. This is the first time we doing this. I'm just going to. Okay, so your start when ready. I'm going to press space.
Yeah.
And, let's see. So, is it start or where is start on there? I have no idea.
There we go.
Oh, okay. What is this?
A bunch more lifesteal. All right. I think that's the only one available right now.
I guess. Is that how this works? All right, that's what we doing. Careful planning. We about to figure this all the way out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am player 2. All right, let's see what's up.
So is this me? All right.
Yeah, that looks like you.
I'm coming to kill you.
Oh God! How do I shoot?
Awesome for me. I love that for me.
Okay, I figured out how to shoot. Okay, jumping up there is going to be a problem. Oh, really?
No.
Oh, see,
That's
you just caused pandemonium. Like, I'm not going to be able to jump that far, am I? Nope.
Great. I didn't have to do anything to win
I'm
that
going to
one.
get you. I swear I'm going to get you.
Please do.
It's going down. I'm telling you.
Oh no! Come on, jump. Yes.
There you go. Am I out of bullets?
Yes.
Oh, so you only get a certain amount of shots. Okay, I get it.
Oh, you do?
I think so, or it's like you gotta wait or something like that. Oh my gosh.
What does this do? Was that healing?
Know.
Oh, I
I'm
probably
about to get
wasted
over
my
it.
healing.
And when I come get you. Oh! Get this man. All right. Why is it taking so
Oh,
long
you
for
do
me to go
only
back?
get a certain
Got you.
amount.
Oh.
Fuck, I'm about to die.
I swear I'm gonna get you.
Run!
Okay. Oh, it's a load up, so it takes time to load. Okay. You have less health than me. Got you. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh man. Okay. Oh no. Why did I do that? Okay, I'm good. No, I'm not
Yes.
good. Oh, okay. There we go.
There you go.
I'm getting crushed.
Ow.
Oh man, this whole bullet reloading thing is ridiculous.
It is.
Wow. Did you just block me? That's
I think so. Oh, all right. There you go.
I'm coming back. I'm telling you.
Yes, you are.
This is on you now, I think.
What's you?
Let's see, done damage. Oh man.
All right.
It's like if Smash Brothers were simplified.
Yes. Death.
I just ran into you like an idiot. Like, no. No.
Yes. No.
Oh, that was a bad idea. No. Nope.
Yes. Who's the winner?
You had one bullet left, and I had three, and I thought like, oh, I got him. Nope. Okay,
Oh, this
so
gives me
you got 2 wins to
joy.
my 1. I see it's like the best. I guess it's the best out of 5. I think. That's strange. This is tough. All right, yeet. Come on, get him.
No. What's gonna be my thing?
And the thing is,
See, how can you aim? Oh, I'm aiming as well. I'm able to aim.
oh yeah, it's different because I actually have the
Yeah.
crosshair. And it's funny because it's not helping me.
Wait, what was that?
I don't know. I just right click. It's like these controls are so different between a controller and a
Death. Death comes to those who wait.
Okay, so hold on. Is that for Soul Calibur?
I don't even know where it's from. It's from somewhere.
Dude.
But every time, so my cousin Derek and I, he's my other gay cousin. We're the gay cousins in the family. We play a lot of Pokemon and a lot of games together. Mm-hmm. And there we go. Death comes to those who wait. Every time I win or I kill him or destroy him in whatever game we're playing, that's our thing. That's for me to say though. Oh God, what is this that you got?
I'm just
No,
shooting,
Lord.
baby.
You got like a new thing. Your gun is like very cool.
This is funny. I only got like 2 shots in this thing. It's really funny how this.
Oh, I see how it
reloads.
reloads now. Ah.
It's funny. You say death comes to those who wait. All I'm doing is waiting to try to shoot. This is like pandemonium.
Death.
The fact that things are in the way. Oh my gosh, my health. No.
No, fuck.
Come on. Get him.
Death. Death. Ooh,
Almost.
that was so close.
I think we're almost neck and neck. I'm gonna win this one, I swear. I'm going to get you.
Let's see.
Oh my
Let me
goodness.
get that space.
For anybody listening on Spotify, we are playing a video game right now. Go to the YouTube. You will have fun.
We are playing a game.
Oh my
and
God.
I am trying my best to kick. There we go. There we go. That's what we needed. That is what we needed.
My gosh. So, when it comes to the idea of not the idea, when it comes to performing, right?
Yeah.
Whether I know the play is new. The play's new. When it comes to performing or any type of event you've been to or and been a part of, would you say there's a specific city or a specific place that you felt the most energy?
The most energy. I will say this. I've been doing a lot of work in Baltimore as of recently, and I've really grown to love the city in a way because I've been living in DC for such a long time, and for the first 6 years I lived there, I never actually visited Baltimore. I passed through to go to New York or Philadelphia or something else, but never actually, staying there. But I will say the energy that you get from Baltimore, it's really good. They love the art that's produced here, and you see that in the way how people, come out and support and the energy from the crowd. You really, really feel that. DC, you get a good energy too, but sometimes in DC, the girls can be given a little
Everybody
bit.
trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm tell you, they're trying to be cool. I'm just like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yes.
It's very weird from Baltimore to Nova, and then you go back to DC, and you're like, It's something because when I came back from Florida, specifically, let me do this real quick. I'll go back to the main. When I came back from Florida, I was so used to the community. It felt like a big family. We call it the Ozone in Orlando.
Yeah.
The community, it was so loving and everyone kind of supported each other that once I came back home, I was like, I forgot people like to be cool here.
Yeah.
It was shameless where I was. Everyone supported you. Like it was yes, boo everywhere, even if that's not what they were saying. It was yes, do your thing. And then they get on stage, you do the same thing. You gave it back. Love that you give it back down there. When I came home, it's like everybody, they in the wall. I see you doing well. Yeah, we could collab, It's like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah, well, I will say I was just in Pittsburgh for the first time ever. I didn't even really have a picture of what Pittsburgh would look like in my mind. And so when I got there and I saw that, it was this hilly terrain and this river running through the middle, and it was just very different than what I had even imagined. But the crowd gave me what I needed. They really, really did. And at the end, after the performance and everything, when the crowd was coming up to us and everything, I really felt, that just love and that energy, and that people were positively entertained that night, which is always great to feel. That's always great to have. So, I've got to shout out Pittsburgh as well.
And so when people are ready to rock, they're ready to rock,
Yes.
especially in other places, man.
Yes.
It's lovely. Like when I was in Boston, I'm like, they're ready to go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. I love that. I love
game. Let's see if it'll pop up on the screen real quick. Come on now. There we are.
There we go.
All right. It looks like you were one win away. Man, you're steamrolling me.
I try.
This is ridiculous. Let's go.
This is what I wanted. All right, let me not get too cocky.
Not me.
See me trying that first shot.
Wait a minute. Wow. Why am I down here? Okay.
How do I?
It's so funny, like their legs and everything.
Right?
Kind of reminds me of SpongeBob, but
a little bit. Okay, this is a
nope,
precipice. Ooh! Don't die. No!
You're gonna take this L today. Oh,
yes.
Clearly, I am going to take that.
Love that for myself. No, we're gonna go back up here because it's getting a little dangerous.
This is what I get for talking crap.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God.
All right. Die. No. Come on, Krill. Come on, Krylios.
Don't fall. Don't fall. I am losing. Oh my god.
Oh,
No,
there
no,
you
no,
go.
no, no, no.
Oh, good. I didn't have to do much. By the way, what does Tovaun mean?
Tovaun?
Yes.
So,
Do you know?
funny thing, I have no idea. I tried to look it up. I mean, I've seen like variations, like Tavon, stuff like that. But as far as Tovaun, I have no idea. Like my middle name Anthony, it's different. It's the prized one. The prized one. And McNeil, which is my actual last name, it means champion. So I'm like, okay, well, for now, I'll just go with the prize champion.
Yeah.
The priceless champion.
And how did you come up with Aoxis?
Aoxis. So this is my last show was the first time that I actually started to give people the meaning of what Aoxis was. Aoxis has always been an acronym. And for years I was just keeping the story away from people and just like, nah, I'll tell you when I tell you. It's gonna come out when my album comes out.
Is there a specific reason why you chose to keep it from people?
It was because in the beginning it was for me. It was for me.
Yeah.
It was something that I would tell myself every day, like to bring myself out of a certain place.
Yeah.
We all have different techniques how to bring ourselves out of depression, how to put ourselves in a creative mood, this, that, and the other. The meaning to Aoxis: A is for apex, E is for evolution, O is for outsider, X is for Zen factor. Zen means foreign. I am different. I am the different factor. I is for introspection. I will be introspective. I need to understand that like it isn't just what it seems to me right now.
Yeah.
I need to understand maybe it's me that's looking at this problem. I need to understand different perspectives. S is for soul. I am the apex, the evolution, the outsider, the Zen factor. I am introspection. I am the soul. It's something that I repeat to myself constantly.
I love that.
Yeah, man. It's something else. So once I finally told someone at my last show that I performed, they're like, okay, I kind of get it now.
Yeah.
As to why I act the way I act. Like, not act, how I am the way I am when I'm on stage, especially when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Because it is supposed to be me at the rawest form up there. I'm like, this is where I am free. This is where you will see who I am. And which is why I get emotional as hell up there. Because at MagFest, God, I was crying up there. I was like, I'm just so happy to see everybody here. Even Yusuf, shout out to Yusuf, my drummer, he was like,
Yeah.
go ahead, hurry up.
See, I identify with that emotion though. And when it comes to names, that's very important because my name, Krylios, it's I've always never really knew how I felt about my name growing up because it's one of those names where every time you say it to people, you've got to repeat it. So that's something I've been used to all my life. It's a different name. It's unique. I've got to say it a bunch for people to get it. And I'll introduce myself now, but I know that you won't remember my name until I do it like 3 more times. You know what I mean?
That ain't a name I'ma forget.
Exactly. So, like my family has always called me JR, and then at school, like people would call me Krylios. And I said, when I was coming to America, I'm gonna like reinvent myself. When I started Howard, I introduced myself as KD because my middle name starts with a D, Desta, right? So Krylios is Greek. And it means masterful or lordly or a heavenly omen. And my middle name, Desta, is Ethiopian for happy. So, the KD thing was cute for a minute for the college days. But I'll never forget when my mom made this whole deal about the fact that my dad and I shared the same name and how that was a thing. And I was like, this is also my name too. Like, I've had to grow up with it and it's also mine. And I felt like in that moment, it was his name. Krylios Clark, it was his name. And now I was besmirching it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck my surname. I'm going to lean into just doing one name. My name, Krylios, like I feel it in my soul. I know what it is now. I know what it represents for me and why it's important to me. And, the greatest stars go by one name. Cher, Madonna, Beyonce, just add Krylios to the list. So
there you go.
There you go. So I leaned into that. But let me kill you.
All right, let's get back to it. I'm going to get you.
Oh! Woo!
You're right. This gun is different.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yours
like
is
it follows you for a second.
It does. And how did you get that? Oh, I think there's a thing where we get to choose our thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. You get to choose your weapon. Or choose
All right.
your
Well,
skill.
you're coming up.
Yeah. Huge amount of bullets.
Oh no! This is what
Oh,
you can do. You can choose.
Oh God.
Ah.
Ooh.
Oh my God! No. Jesucristo. No.
Time! Oh God.
And you
I got
still.
full health, boy.
I know. Hate this for myself.
It's happening.
Not the comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Let me stop. Oh God. I've been waiting to use it.
Oh!
Oh no! Oh my
Lord
goodness. My health.
Jesus.
My health. My health. Okay. I gotta be very strategic. Oh no! 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 No!
Yes. Yes, Lord.
See, See, that's that. It's coming out. It's coming out.
It does come out all the time.
Dude, I have a friend named well, he goes by Arrow.
Yes!
Dang.
That was a victory by Krylios, Team Racing Productions, MC and producer, playwright
great-
and author.
Today's greatest of all time, y'all. Oh my gosh. What is this? Why is it asking me to enter text? I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, let's go ahead and yep, there we go. Good God.
I
was
love
something
it.
else.
I love it. I
is
got
something-
exactly what I wanted. I
Yes,
wanted
indeed.
to win. You know, I came in with no expectations. That's what you do.
And you got me. You steamrolled. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it on here. I normally say I will not lose. I live by that. I live by that saying. Well, you saw me lose. Good God. You know, we're rolling up on we're over an hour and a half. So how about this? We definitely have to do this another time.
Yes,
And we can play some more games. We
definitely
can talk
will.
some more
Yes,
stuff. And
yes.
especially when you come back on, I want to hear more and more about just you growing, expanding. Like I said, I'm very proud of you. If there's anything
you.
else you want to say to the people, the floor is yours.
Sure. Well, you know, I work with Racine, the queen of the shameless plug, so I could never leave without shamelessly plugging some stuff. So, of course, you can follow me at It's Krylios. That's ITSKRYLIOS at It's Krylios on Twitter and Instagram. On both those platforms, if you check my bio, you will find the link to my link tree, or you can do bit.ly/It's Krylios, and you can keep up with everything that I've got going on, including the play and upcoming shows, including the book when it drops on Amazon this month. It's called Fear, Fantasies, and Freedom. It's a 10-story anthology, you know, exploring so many different things. If you like fantasy, get into it. If you like sci-fi, get into it. If you like a little bit of horror, get into it. If you like deep discussion, if you like queer literature, if you like just going on an adventure, it's the perfect book for you. And of course, it contains the story Leave the Door Open, which was adapted into the live stage play of the same name. So make sure that you check that out. And of course, go to racine.com. That's RAYCEEN to keep up with everything that Team Racine Productions is doing. There you'll find the link to our YouTube channel, and we have interviews, vlogs, forums, and more with artists and politicians and all these different things. And I also have a YouTube channel with my best friend and roommate, Dane, which is called OK Sissy. If you look here, we have my little...
I want to be that guy right now.
Yes, this is my little OK Sissy pendant that me and my best friend share. We have a YouTube channel, so check us out on YouTube. OK Sissy. It spells like how it sounds, Sissy, Sissy. So check that out. And if you're going to be in the DC area, Team Racing Productions has partnered with the Mayor's Office of LGBTQ Affairs to throw the capstone event of the Pride season. On June 30th, we are hosting District of Pride at the historic Lincoln Theater. So make sure that you come out to that. We have huge performers, and our headliner is Candice Dillard Bassett from the Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'll just drop a little tease that she may not be the only celebrity there. You know, the mayor will also be there, BT Dub. She'll show up. But, you know, it's the mayor. It's her thing. That's cute. But, you know, we got celebrities in the room. So make sure that you show up to that and just keep up to date with everything that we're doing. You know, I love it. Please follow me, support me, keep me fed. I need it.
Once again, follow Krylios, support Krylios. Dead serious. Listen, thank you once again for coming on. This was one of the most fun episodes I've ever done.
Thank you.
One of the most fun podcasts I've done, period. This is amazing. Your energy speaks for itself. You are vibrant. You are amazing. I ain't gotta gas you up. I'm just telling the truth.
You don't have to.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But yo, once again, thank you so much, and can't wait to do this again.
Of course, and I want to say thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It was really a pleasure when you reached out to do this. I've wanted to be a guest on a podcast for a while, and this is the perfect one, you know, for me to be a part of. This was very, very fun. I always enjoy getting to talk with you and, you know, getting to kiki. Who doesn't love a cute kiki? So thanks so much for inviting me to be a part of this.
100%. And hey, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
All right, fam, thanks once again for tuning in to another episode of the O on God podcast. Big shout out and thanks to Krylios. Follow him on social media. Till next time, I'm your host, Tovaun Anthony, and I wish you health, safety, peace, love, and blessings.